Hello YouTube, Brent Peter here with you. Coming to you from Dumaguete City. Just got through suffering through about a 15-hour brownout. One of the longest brownouts I've had to endure since I've been in the Philippines. Whew, it was brutal. It started about 5 o'clock this morning, woke up, no air con. Don't take me very long to wake up with no air con, folks. I like my AC. But yeah, it started about 5 o'clock this morning, and of course, didn't know nothing about it. Of course, that's all my fault. These things are usually posted on Facebook and other places, so just totally my fault. I imagine that I didn't know about it. None of us knew about it. But anyway, drove down to Bacong today because we knew we wasn't going to have no electricity after we woke up. We figured it was going to be a 12-hour deal. That's usually where what they do is do about a 6 to 6 on Sundays. And like I say, we should have looked, but we didn't. So we decided, let's go to Bacong. Her sister and mom and dad came down last night, and we all went out to eat and celebrated her little nephew's birthday. Went to an awesome little place outside of Darwin called Takamak or something like that, way up on the mountains in Darwin. Had a good time. Had a little birthday celebration there. And on the way back, her mom got sick, so they stayed the night here, and her brother-in-law and sister went back to Bacong. So we got up this morning and was going to give them a ride back to Bacong. Of course, I drove, and just another one of the frustrating things about the Philippines, folks. It's not that bad on a motorbike because you can weave in and out. You can weave in and out of traffic. You know, of course, it's dangerous, but it's nothing that'll just slow you up for a while. But boy, you're in a pickup or a car or anything. Even though they have some 4-lane roads, and from here to Bacong is probably about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. But everybody drives in the left lane. They don't drive in the right lane and then pass in the left lane. No, they drive either in both lanes or the left lane. And it's a developing country, folks. I mean, these little old islands and these, let me just start out by saying, you could take the population of the United States. I think it's 300 and something million people in the United States. Could be wrong, but I think that's about what it is. And the Philippines has about 110, 115 million people. So say a third. We'll just call it a third. There's 7,000 islands here on the Philippines. Not nowhere near that amount is populated. But there's only, you know, I don't know, say you can look at the map, and just the ones you can see on the map, you can pretty much call them populated, and other ones are a lot smaller. But these roads aren't meant for pickup trucks and semis and these big buses. And that's just what you got to deal with, folks. Buses going all day long, nonstop, just one after another. And like I say, these roads, even if it's a 4-lane, the people drive in the left lane, and you can't blame them because in the right lane, I'd say it's more of an optional lane because most people use it as a driveway or just pull over on the side of the road and park, or even have their fruit stand or fish stand hanging out in the road. I mean, or the lane itself will just end. So, or there may be a telephone pole in the damn thing. So, I can see why people shade over to the left lane. That, or in the Philippines, you don't really have open country like you have in the United States. You can drive, just say from Dumaguete to Valencia is about 6 miles. Well, even though you leave Dumaguete and go 6 miles to Valencia, you never really leave. It's like you don't ever leave town because there's fruit stands and stores and houses all the way up and down the highways. And like I say, they're going from 2-lane road and trying to make everything 4-lane road. And here in the Philippines, there is no easement, I don't guess. If there is, or there may be an easement, but they'll literally cut your friggin' porch off to build the road. And I've seen houses where you walk out the front door and you're 3 foot off of being in the road, being in the house. I mean, as soon as you walk out your door, bam. And they've literally cut people's porches off or the front of their houses off to make that road a little wider. And that being said, it's just because there's so many people in the Philippines, and this place has been, you know, they developed it for motorbikes and walking paths. They just created, you know, they turned walking paths into sidewalks, and then into roads, and then into 2-lane roads, and then trying to do 4. So it's a progress deal, but it's sure aggravating when you're trying to drive a car or a truck or even a motorbike sometimes, especially if you go downtown at midday. I mean, you're just sitting there. You could have your foot on the ground the whole time because you're just, it's give and take, folks. And there is no wait on it to be clear to turn. You can't do that here in the Philippines. You just got to make your mind up and stick your nose out there and turn, because there'll be traffic going the whole way. I mean, there is no, but the frustrating parts, I've seen the traffic just bumper to bumper, just like that, and somebody will just decide they're going to turn around, or you'll come up to a no turn left sign or something, and there'll be a traffic enforcer out there telling people, you know, go left, go right, and they won't let them turn left. So what do? They go right past the traffic enforcer, maybe 50 yards, maybe 100 yards, but bumper to bumper traffic, and they'll nose their car in front of that whole lane and do like a 3-point, 6-point turnaround and go where they can turn right and go to where they was going, instead of going on out there to where it's clear and turning around where they're not in nobody's way. Man, you just gotta hang tight and wait on that. And I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not. I'm just trying to let y'all know that if you're thinking about coming out here, it's just keep that in mind. There's like I said, there's 110, 115 million people here, and the surface area of the Philippines, out of all those islands, is about the size of New Mexico. So you take a third of the people in the United States and stick them in New Mexico, and that's what you're dealing with when it comes to population and overcrowded and that kind of stuff. That's why when you leave these towns or cities or whatever, you don't ever really leave town. There's no open space. There's no hell, in the Midwest, you know, you can drive for 45 minutes to an hour, you know, just open country, never see a soul. It's not like that here. I'll give you an example. Today I was driving to Bacong and back. Hell, there's a big truck that, I don't know, lost axle or something, just parked right in the middle of the road, where that's as far as they went. I mean, it stopped where it stopped. The driver had no control over that, but you could tell that thing was so overweight that there ain't no telling how much that thing weighed. And there is no DOT over here. There's no highway patrol. There's none of that. It's I mean, there's nobody clocking you and checking you for your, unless you're on a motorbike and go through one of these drive-throughs, make sure you got your helmet, your paperwork, and that kind of stuff. But they really don't mess with cars and trucks and that kind of stuff. But anyway, he's parked right in the middle of the road on my way to Bacong, and of course we had to go around him and come back. He's still there. They're sitting there. They're working on it right there. Of course they have to. I mean, there's not much they could do about that. But they could at least put a traffic cone or a reflector or something, you know, 150 yards in front of the truck, behind the truck. So give people a little warning, because you just come. I'd hate to be working on that truck right there where it was. And no, they just started working on it. And last night we was coming back from that restaurant, and I don't know what happened. It was dark in the middle of the road, but you could tell somebody either crashed or got run over. And there's people going up and down. This is a national highway. There's people going up and down it. There's no red lights flashing. I told Serena, she was driving last night, I told her, flash your lights. You know, somebody's going to get nailed, because there was people laying in the road. There was 2 people trying to get the motorcycle out of the road, groceries all in the middle of the road. I mean, it's a scary deal. It's a really scary deal. Today, there's this truck. I got behind this truck hauling cattle, and hell, you see cattle over here in a tricycle. They'll have them a little pen built in their little tricycle, and they can haul 2 or 3 head. You know, 800-pound steers or heifers or whatever they're hauling, pigs. But this was an actual truck, and it had cattle, just a 1-layer of cattle. And then on top of it, you know, it had the bars on top, just like a cattle trailer. And on top of it we counted 2 goats and about 6 Filipinos right on top. And that whole truck was just leaning like this. And I told Trina, I said, I won't pass this thing on the left because I don't want to get over there to the right. The other damn thing might fall on us. And just lots of unsafety over here. There really is. But when I got back, it tested every bit of my patience today. Of course, I drove there and back, and just the people you'd think. And I understand that the lane, the right lane, may be a telephone pole in there, may be somebody parked there. So people are afraid, you know, and it's against the law in the United States to pass on the right. Here they don't care. If they think they can pass on the right, they'll pass on the right, and you know, takes away of them jumping out there and getting in the other lane to do it. But they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about traffic rules. They don't give a shit. They just really don't. Just seeing some of the safety stuff, it'll really drive you crazy if you've got to drive for about 4 hours. I mean, I was stressed plumb out. I was like, and there'd be motorcycles or tricycles, you know. In the United States, we got, you know, ag equipment, tractors, that kind of stuff. If you're driving slow, and if you're from the country or anything, they will kind of pull it. Even though they've got the right of way, they know they're going 20 and you're doing 70. They'll kind of try to get out of your way. Not these people, not in the Philippines, folks. They'll drive either in both lanes or they'll drive in the left lane. And so you got to sit there and wait. And here in the Philippines, it's not if you're clear to go. It's just you go out around it, or they do. I'm still trying to get the courage up to drive like, because you know, when you're in Rome, you're supposed to do like the Romans, but they will pull out to pass somebody, and there'll be motorcycles coming straight up for head on, and the motorcycles just kind of have to hit the ditch or hit that other lane or just do what they can. It's a very dangerous place to drive, motorbike or truck or anything else. And you'll take these curves going around these mountains and stuff, and buses will be in your lane when you get to the curb. It's like, oh shit. So when you're going into a curb, you want to think, oh hell, I better cheat over that way as far as possible, because sure enough, you come around the curb and boom, there's somebody in your lane. They don't think about, well, I can't see what's beyond that, so I'm not going to go for it. They just go for it, and consequences be what they may. The noise over here it's been some noise. I hadn't made a video. I've started to make 2 videos in the last week and just got frustrated and turned it off because, as you all heard earlier, dogs barking, chickens crowing, blah blah blah, this and that. And so I just turned it off and said, well, maybe I'll catch a quiet place later, and just never have. It's very noisy over here. That's another thing you wanna keep in mind. It's not. Everybody paints the Philippines to be this just awesome place, and it is. I really, it can take time to grow on you, but these little things begin to dig at you too. While you're falling in love with the Philippines, you can also, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. You know, you can't just go to the grocery store and get what you get. I mean what you want. You get what you can get, what's available. And you might have to stop at 3 or 4 stores, folks. There's no one and done here. There's no Walmart. There's no, even if there was a Walmart, they'd be out of stock. Or we don't have this, we don't have that. It's the Philippines. And like I say, it's a love-hate. That's what I'm talking about. It's a love-hate relationship, and I never was a very patient guy, but the older I get, I'm trying to get more and more patient, and days like today, just, you know, I wasn't Job today, folks. I was very impatient. You know, when I got back, I was so damn stressed out. I've started smoking again. I'm smoking cigarettes again. I got to get back on track of getting that deal cut off or quit. But I tell you what, it's just you know, you go to the grocery store here, you're liable to sit in line or stand in line for an hour. That's why I go to these little specialty stores that you know, there's not a lot of Filipinos stuff to go to. You can kind of get in and out pretty quick, like Bellcrest. You never have to wait in line there. There's stores up at Valencia where, you know, Valencias don't have the people that's in Dumaguete, so if I need to go to, they call them do-it-yourself DIY stores, you know, kind of like you can get a few tools or just light bulbs or that kind of stuff for the house, trash can, you know, broom, that kind. If I need anything like that, I'll drive all the way to Valencia, just because I don't want to stand in line for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it may be. And so I try to pick my places. Tomorrow I've got to go to back to the immigration office, and it feels like I just got through doing this shit. It was my first extension since I've been back, so they only give you 29 days, and you've got to go a week early. So I guess I was just there, you know, a few weeks ago. So I'm gonna try to get that knocked out tomorrow. I've tried to go to the immigration office maybe 10 days early, and this will be about 8 days early. But I've had that guard tell me, said, no, you need to come back Monday or whatever. It needs to be within the week or whatever. And then you know, noise, folks. It's just on my nerves this week. I don't know what it is. I'm really struggling this week, but hopefully I can get that taken care of. I'll get my 2-month extension this time. So I don't know if I'll have to get my they told me I'd kind of have to get my ACR card last time I was there, but I don't think my ACR card actually expires before May, and I may try to go back to the United States in May. So I may try to talk them into not doing that, because but you may have to on your second deal. But seeing how I've got one that's going to be valid till May, I'm going to see if I can get by with not doing it. I just be, of course, it'll still be good for a year. So I don't know. Who knows? They may tell me to go ahead and do it, which is no big deal. It's just I'm just trying to. Welcome to the Philippines, folks. Welcome to the Philippines. But anyway, I'm not trying to gripe. I'm just telling you some of the stuff that you'll have to deal with. It can really get you. You gotta bring over here a whole truckload of patience, folks. That's one thing that I would say. Pack extra is patience, because man, you have a week like I've had, and I really hadn't done a whole lot, folks. That's the kicker, is I really hadn't done a whole lot. I really think just I'd say oh, and another thing, my brand new motorbike dog's done chewed a hole in the seat. So now I was parking it under this little, got a little lean-to where she hangs all the laundry and stuff, and I had it parked under there and I don't know, it's been a month, 2 months, probably a month. Not a problem at all. Come out there one day, the damn dog's chewed a hole right in the middle of my damn seat. And I thought, well, he's done. Come back out the next day, it was a little bigger. So I just pushed it out the gate, and it's sitting at the gate now. It's not a big deal. It's probably a $3 seat cover. As a matter of fact, we took her son's bicycle to get some parts put on the bicycle, and they were selling seat covers there, and I seen 150 pesos for a seat. But that's not the point. It's just it's just some of the things you got to deal with over here, and you know. So now my bike's out there outside the gate, which is a lot handier. If I try to get up and leave, I don't have to worry about. I've opened the gate and tried to push my bike out the gate, and the damn dog runs out. And now you're out there chasing a damn dog or whatever. It's just goodness, folks. But like I say, I don't mean to be negative about the Philippines, because I love the Philippines. It's just I want you to know that it's not all rainbows and butterflies over here, folks. I promise. It is super cheap living over here. I will say that. Super cheap. You've got to deal with brownouts, folks. That was a brutal brownout today. What was bad is we was thinking 6 to 6, and that's usually the way it's scheduled. But the power didn't come on until about 10 minutes ago, till about 7:30. So yeah, and there's nothing worse than that, because you're sitting there, you're trying to pace yourself how long your old cell phone battery's going to last. How about your power bank? Well, I had mine maxed out the whole time, and if we had, you know, I went through one of my little portable fans before I left, And when we got back, I thought, oh, we're not going to have to worry about that very long. But hell, it was 2.5, 3 hours sitting in there in the dark. With it still had, I figured out how to do my little fan. I told you my little cordless fan. It don't. It was only good for 2 hours last time, but I get a whole lot more out of it because I just don't turn it on high. So it lasted. I don't know. I turned it on about 5 o'clock this morning, I guess, and ran it a few hours, and then it got me through another couple hours when I got back. And I had a backup, so I can't complain about that. That I never even turned on. But yeah, power banks. I didn't even have it full. You know, when I'm not expecting a brownout, hell, me or her one. I've got a power cord right there by the bed that I use, and she don't have plug-in on her side, so I always just hand her my power bank with a little cord, and she just uses it right there in the bed. And like I say, we didn't know about the brownout, so we was blinded by it. But like I say, we spent most of the time in Banawan today, and on the road to and from Banawan. But got back and thought it'd be on at 6 o'clock, and kind of paced ourselves to get back about the time that it would be back on. And we was wrong, folks. We was wrong. And there's nothing worse sitting there sweating in the dark, waiting to think, damn, I hope it comes on pretty quick. I'd like to eat. And of course, we can cook and all that shit without electricity, because we got gas and we can heat water for coffee and that kind of stuff. But it's the opening and closing the refrigerators and stuff that you wanna watch. You know, especially if you're looking at a 15-hour power outage, folks. It gets hot here in the Philippines. It gets hot, and so you wanna keep them doors on the refrigerator shut as long as you can, and so you're just thinking, well, when's it gonna come back on? When's it gonna come back on? Anyway, folks, that's pretty much all I've got. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you hadn't already. I'm nearly up to 5,000 subs, folks. Never thought I'd ever see 5,000 subs. I think I'm like 4,800, but I appreciate everybody watching these videos. I hope they're about half informative. Like I say, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to give you get your expectations right, because when you get over here and all this shit hits you at once, folks, it's a little easier if you lean into it and know a little bit what's coming, than when you get over here and all this shit hits you at once. You're thinking, son of a gun, you know, what did I get myself into? And it's a long flight, folks. It's a long flight to get over here and be disappointed. So I don't want anybody to coming over here being disappointed. Philippines is a great place. Beautiful women, beautiful country. Matter of fact, that little drive we did to Dallin the other night up to that restaurant, just a beautiful, beautiful drive. I'm talking, and this restaurant we went to, it was a high-end restaurant. I'm talking about $100 steaks and that kind of stuff. It was the real deal. Just a beautiful place. Name of it was Takamak or something like that. If anybody's around here in Dumaguete, I really highly suggest going up there and checking that out. I mean, if you want to splurge for a steak, or you can even get you everything's a little on the higher end, but it's definitely worth it. They've got cheaper stuff. You know, they've got your 500 peso meals too. But if you wanna get out there and order something crazy, I didn't order a steak or nothing, because you know it was a little birthday party for her nephew, but they was dang sure available, and I seen them coming out, and they look damn sure good. Not that you could tell anything from looking at one, but you can tell it's the real deal. I highly recommend going out. Just even if you don't even want to go up there and eat, just the drive itself is well worth it. Just go to Dallin, hook a right, and head up the mountain. I think it's probably 7 kilometers from Dallin. Just beautiful drive. So go check that out. Like I said, I've got nearly 5,000 subs now. Appreciate each and every one of you. I do have a trip planned to Manila in a couple weeks. Brings me to another frustrating point, and I know it's not the Philippines' fault. It's these damn travel agents or whatever. You know, I got on Skyscanner, got me a trip to Manila, booked, paid for, all that stuff. And I get a call last week. They've canceled my ride back. They've canceled my flight for the way back. So want me to reschedule and all this stuff. So I go to trying to reschedule. Of course, I can't understand the lady on the phone. She's not Filipino. She's not Filipino. She's not American. I don't know where she was. She wasn't in the Philippines. She wasn't in the United States. I promise you that. Couldn't understand her. Anyway, finally called back and get a different guy who I could understand, and he breaks to me, yeah. And so I thought, well, hell, I'll just get on there on the and book me a different ticket, you know, blah blah blah, and I'll get my money back for the one they canceled. Well, I booked me another ticket, and of course they won't refund my money. It's one of them deals where they'll credit me. They'll credit me the trip or whatever, and they already owe me. This will be trip number 4, or they owe me 4 flights, and I can't get in there and get to any of them. At least this time I've got an email. The other 3 times have happened at the airport where they've either canceled my flight, and that was the airline's fault. They either canceled my flight, or I don't know what happened, but it wound up getting delayed at least 4 hours. And if they do that, they owe you a trip. And of course, the ladies at the counter, they don't know what the hell's going on. They just tell you, here, just tell them, give them your ref booking number or whatever that, blah blah blah. Well, who do you tell? You never talk to anybody when you're booking your ticket. So you go to the little Cebu Pacific window itself and try to tell them, well, no, we don't know what you're talking about. You got to do that online. And so you wind up just saying screw it, because you're so damn frustrated, mad that you fuck it. You know, like I say, they owe me 3. At least this time I've actually got an email saying, you know, I'll wind up getting screwed out of this one too. Of course, it wasn't much, you know, $60 or something like that, because I don't know. It's just one of them things. Just another frustrating thing about the Philippines. And this could happen anywhere, folks. It's not just the Philippines. They did me that way. ASAP tickets did me. I'll never use ASAP tickets because they did me the same way. First time I went to Mexico, they canceled my trip back. And I just got dropped off at Amarillo and had to fly out the next morning. They was trying to cancel the whole deal. And they told me my plane was canceled. I said, well, hell. And I was going to be gone a month. I said, you got a whole month to find me another one. I don't care what day. Anyway, wound up getting screwed out of that one too. Had to book my own flight back. Just, if you Philippines, if you're ever booking flights, you know, they give you the list of providers. Always go with the airlines. Try not to go with these third options, third parties, because if anything happens, you're just screwed. You really are, unless you won't pay twice as much for the insurance, and then there'll be a fee to cancel it or reschedule it or blah blah blah. It's just when you're booking $50 tickets, it's not, man, it's not worth doubling the price of your tickets to get it all insured and all that crap, when you can, even if it does get canceled, you can book another one for the same $50. So I always take my chances. Sure, I've been burned a few times, but I travel a lot, folks. I've bought a lot of tickets, and it's definitely been cheaper to go the cheapest route. Anyway, folks, that's all I got. This is Prince Tripping. Peace.